Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 foundations. I have a mixture of drugstore and high-end, and these are for people that have oily to combination skin. Of course you can all try them out, but these are specifically for people that have my skin type, which is oily to combination skin. Also, I have just finished filming a tutorial on this makeup look, which I have linked down below if you guys wanted to check it out. So if you guys want to see what my top foundation picks are, please keep on watching. Also, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will really appreciate all of your support, and let's get straight into the video. So I'm going to be doing one high-end and one drugstore just to keep it mixed, and I will leave the prices of the foundations down here somewhere so you guys can have a look. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with this one. I think, well, you can't get this in the drugstore, but I put this in the drugstore category because it's not that expensive, and here in the UK you can get it in Topshop. So I'm not too sure how much it is. Again, I'll leave it across here somewhere. This is the EX1 Invisaware liquid foundation. I'm in the shade 300 and I absolutely love this foundation. It's medium to full coverage, I would say, and it comes with a little pump like so. For someone that has oily to combination skin, I think the best way to wear this foundation is to put a setting powder on top. That way you won't get oily throughout the day, and also use a mattifying primer, which is essential at all times if you want to keep matte. The best way to get full coverage with this foundation is using a beauty blender. So I use this one here by Real Techniques. Or if you want a more light coverage, then I do recommend you use a brush. It can either be a stippling brush or a kabuki brush. That way it spreads the foundation out evenly and doesn't leave it looking very blotchy and patchy, which is not cute at all. In terms of the longevity of this product throughout the day, I would say that it's very long lasting. I wear my foundations from around 6 o'clock in the morning until, let's say, 8 to 9 o'clock at night, because I do work full time, and this will start to crack around my chin and nose area around 5ish. So I do get quite a good couple of hours of longevity with this foundation. In terms of the colour match, this foundation is meant to be perfect for those of you that have olive skin tones. Next, I'm going to share with you guys a foundation that I have mentioned previously, and I'm sure you guys have seen me use a lot in my previous videos. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I'm in the shade 6.25 and I love this foundation. I'm not going to speak too much on it because I did mention it in my January favourites. Again, I'll link that down below. But this foundation is also medium to full coverage. It's perfect for every day. I know that it's quite expensive, but it does work great for an everyday foundation because of how lightweight it is. I usually use 2 pumps, I would say, and again, if I want a full coverage, I will use a beauty blender, or if I want it to be more light, I will use a stippling brush. It lasts around probably 5 to 6 hours without cracking on my chin and on my nose, which is where I get extremely oily throughout the day. So I know that whatever I do, I will always end up breaking out around those areas just due to my skin. I think this foundation would work great for those of you that have normal to dry skin, because it is quite dewy, I would say. So if you guys have that type of skin, then go ahead and pick up this foundation because it will make you radiant, absolutely radiant. Next, I want to share with you guys this Milani foundation. This is the Milani Plus Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. I am currently warm beige, and when I'm tan, I am light tan. So at the moment I'm carrying these two, and this foundation is amazing. Again, I don't think you can get it in the drugstore here in the UK, but you can get them online, and I think they retail for around £10. That's why I have put it in my drugstore picks. In terms of the coverage, this is very full coverage. I won't recommend this for people that like to wear very light foundations during the day or during the week and like to have very simple coverage. This wouldn't be for you because it's very high coverage. No matter whether you're using a beauty blender or a stippling brush, you're still going to get the same coverage, in my opinion, because that's what I've done, and I end up finding to get the same coverage for both. In terms of the longevity of this foundation, I do think it's very long lasting. If you are oily to combination skin, I do recommend you setting it with a setting powder. You can either let it bake for a couple of minutes or use a setting powder that's much more thicker than, for example, the Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is quite thin. I would go ahead and use the Beignet banana powder in this case because it's much more thicker and in my opinion works well when it comes to baking. So that is a type of powder that I will put on top of this just because it is quite high coverage. Next I'm going to be talking about the Urban Decay All Nighter Foundation. I know that this is something that is very popular at the moment. This also comes with a pump. All of the foundations that I'm speaking about today come with a pump, which I think is the best way to have a foundation. This foundation I am shade 7.5, which personally I think is a little bit too light. I would have gone one up, but they didn't have my shade, so I think I'll be the shade above 7.5. But in terms of the coverage, it's very full coverage and it's very mattifying. With this one you will not get oily throughout the day at all. In terms of it oxidizing, it does also oxidize. It's oxidized on my skin. It's made me look a little bit more darker, so again keep that in mind when you're picking up this foundation. It could only be my skin, I don't know, but that's just the experience that I've had with this foundation. It does work really well with oily to combination skin people. You do have to be careful and however not put powder on the areas that you are dry. So I'm dry around the outer corner of my face, and that is somewhere where I wouldn't put powder if I'm wearing this foundation, only because it does kind of clench onto the foundation and it starts to break out and look quite patchy. So if you're going to be using this foundation, use powder on the areas where you are the most oiliest and keep everything else clear. It just balances it out. And the last foundation that I want to speak to you guys about is by L'Oreal. This is the Infallible 24-Hour Matte Foundation. This you can get in the drugstore here in the UK. You can purchase it in either Boots or Superdrug. I usually get mine from Boots and I'm in the shade Amber 32. And I absolutely love this foundation. This does not come with a pump. I know I said earlier that all of my foundations come with a pump, but I forgot about this one. This just comes in a little tube and kind of just squirts out. So I place some at the back of my hand and then just go in with the beauty blender. This is quite full coverage. I would say that it turns into a matte finish in comparison to this one, which just turns into a satin finish. This one is more matte, but then again I do think that this is more directed towards oily skinned people, and I absolutely love this foundation. The only issue that I probably have with it once again is the colour match. I still haven't found one that is absolutely perfect. I've tried the shade below this one and I look too light, and with this one I look a tad bit too tanned. So it is very hit and miss with this foundation, and I think that's the main issue that I have with drugstore foundations is the colour matches. It either oxidizes really bad on my skin, or I just can't find a colour that suits me. If you want something more lightweight, then I would say go with something like the EX1 Invisaware. But this one is definitely full coverage, so if you are not about that full coverage life, then do not go with this one. All of these 5 foundations, my absolute favourite 2, if I had to pick just 2 out of all of these 5, I would go with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Sit Foundation as high-end and the EX1 Invisaware foundation for drugstore. Both very similar foundations in my opinion. They both cater to olive skin people and they're kind of based around us. Even though I love all 5 foundations, if I had to pick one from each category, I would pick this one and this one. But yes guys, those are my top 5 picks for foundations. If you guys love any of these foundations as much as I do let me know down below. And if you have any other suggestions of foundations that I should be using, also let me know down below. And I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye!